I'm Matt Bichard with REIT.com. Joining me for this episode of CEO Spotlight is Amy Tait, Chairman and CEO of Broadstone Net Lease. Amy, thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Matt.
Great.
Glad to be here again.
Can you tell us a little bit about the evolution that the company's undergone since you first began acquiring net lease properties back in 2006?
I think over the past 6 years, it's just been a story of consistent growth, continuous improvement. We've grown every quarter. I'd say out of the last 26 quarters, we've bought triple net lease properties 25 of those quarters. So we're constantly in the market, constantly growing, to the point where we now have 173 properties in 26 states. And we're very well diversified between medical office, retail, and industrial properties.
And what are some of the primary challenges facing Broadstone this year?
As a private REIT, probably our biggest challenge is to consistently raise equity to fund our continued growth. Last year we raised about $100 million to buy about $275 million of properties. And that's really terrific, but you never know what's going to happen the next quarter or the next month. We do not have a broker-dealer network that raises funds for us, and we're not really a typical institutional structure or asset class, frankly. So we really rely on our shareholders and high net worth and ultra high net worth investors to come to us. Fortunately, we have over 600 shareholders. They're all quite happy, and we get a lot of referrals and make a lot of new friends regularly.
And that brings me to my next question. What about the opportunities?
The opportunities are phenomenal. They're probably the greatest opportunities to acquire accretive acquisitions that we've ever seen since we started in this business. And the reason for that is cap rates have compressed a little bit, maybe back to pre-recession levels, but our interest rates and our costs of capital are probably 200 to 300 basis points lower than they were before the recession. So we can lock in very, very accretive acquisitions, and that's what we're focused on doing.
And Amy, can you tell me a little bit about Broadtree Homes, the REIT you recently launched in the single-family home market?
Well, thank you. Broadstone Net Lease was doing so well and being so slow and steady, we decided it was time for me to pursue one of my other passions, and that's in the single-family home rental space. Our family has a little bit of experience with that. Actually, my father and uncle started buying single-family homes to rent about 50 years ago. So I grew up in that industry. I've watched that. Clearly, our family has had experience with multifamily real estate since we founded Home Properties about 19 years ago. And I've really been watching the housing crisis the last several years and realizing that a big solution to that is for investors to come in and buy this excess inventory of single-family homes that families can't really own and occupy themselves anymore.
And you mentioned you've been watching the market. What was it that you've seen that kind of put you over the hump in terms of really deciding this was the time to do this? Most
people have no idea that 1 out of every 10 households in the U.S. lives in a rented single-family home, a detached home. You know, that's a huge part of our housing industry and a huge part of our economy. So I think getting this turned around and worked out is really critical to the recovery of our economy. Right now, as the home ownership rate goes down, there are about 115 million households in this country. Every 1% drop in the home ownership rate is another million families looking to find a place to live that they can rent. And while some are moving to multifamily apartments, and that's bode very, very well for the multifamily industry, the majority, I think 60% of the families that have lost their homes to foreclosure or some other type of distress end up renting a single-family home.
Amy, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Matt.
For more on this and other REIT news and analysis, be sure to visit REIT.com.